Hi guys, welcome! In this video, we'll dive into Ellinia's DPS build for PVE. The Cat God Ellinia is a ranged physical hero class that has a unique ability to possess PP Dragon or another player, rendering her invincible in battle. If you missed our previous discussion regarding Ellinia's skill mechanics and an analysis of her pros and cons, you can find the video link below. This time we'll cover everything you need to know, from stats, runes, gears, cards, upgrades, and battle setup to guide you in optimizing your Ellinia character for PvE. Alright, without further ado, let's begin. First, for attribute point distribution, you need to max out both Dex and Int for maximizing Ellinia's damage potential. This because the damage of Mercury Concerto and her PP Dragon's attacks scale with ranged physical attack and magic attack. Between the two, physical attack would provide higher damage scaling since the magic attack part does not benefit from some physical damage modifiers, such as damage to large size. As an example from my character, the ratio of damage increase between physical and magic attack is 2:1. Another benefit of increasing physical attack and magic attack is that it is also the basis for the healing amount from her intertwined Fate passive skill. As for the remaining attribute points, just allocate it on Vid for boosting HP and physical def. Do take note that if you are using gears that require reaching a certain number of attribute points to take effect, you'll have to redistribute your stat points accordingly. As an example, if your garment is inlaid with Zenobia card, you may allot some points on strength to get more skill damage bonus. As for damage modifiers, you need to invest in the following stats to maximize Ellinia's damage output against monsters. Building Ellinia varies depending on whether you're possessing PP Dragon or a teammate. When possessing a teammate, they can share up to 50% of their ignore physical def, physical pen, physical damage, and skill damage bonuses to Ellinia. To take full advantage of this, make sure that your teammate has at least 50% of these stats. This way, you only need to aim for a minimum of 150% ignore physical def and 30% physical pen, and then you can focus on other damage modifiers. On the other hand, if you're playing solo and riding PP Dragon, Ellinia won't gain any bonus stats from the possession. However, PP Dragon's final damage and final damage reduction will increase by 50%. Up next, let's take a look at Ellinia's runes. Maxing out the core passive skill to level 7 should be your topmost priority, as it enables Mercury Concerto to cast an additional Starstone that hits the nearest enemy within 5 meters every second. Aside from activating the second line effect of her runes, you should also aim to get a high first line value on these two essential runes. First is the Meteor of Punishment S rune, which increases the damage of Mercury Concerto by up to 30%. And the other is the PP Assault S rune, which boosts the damage of PP Dragon against monsters by up to 100%. It's of lower priority to aim for a high first line value on her other 4 runes, as they do not affect her damage dealing capability. For attribute runes, prioritize leveling up the following for improving damage. As for the arcane runes, I recommend getting the White Blade rune for boosting your final damage when there is only one enemy within 5 meters, Aid rune for increasing the final damage dealt by your PP Dragon, and Spirit rune for helping with SP regen. Up next, let's dive into your recommended equipment set and cards. First, for weapon, Ellinia's signature weapon, Star of Bethlehem, would be the best in slot. Aside from increasing her ranged physical damage modifiers, it also allows her to deal 30% more damage when she is at full health. Additionally, its Tier 5 upgrade increases the damage of Mercury Concerto by 15% when possessing PP Dragon or a teammate. Your weapon should be enchanted with Arch 4 or Morale 4, and inlaid with Drake Star card or Menorah Star card to trigger the inside effect. For offhand, the best in slot are Eagle Flute as main equipment, and Helion Bracelet as fandom equipment for enhancing ranged physical attack and physical damage. Your offhand should be enchanted with Armor Breaking 4 and inlaid with any of the following cards. For armor, I recommend preparing 2 armors, Dream Eater's Disguise if using Fire, Water, Wind, and Earth element, or Horror Bones Battle Gear if using Holy Element. As for the Phantom equipment slot, the 2 best options are Lazy Meow Cat for boosting physical attack, magic attack, and physical damage, or the Chosen Scam for boosting damage to large size and gaining fear immunity. Your armor should be enchanted with Arch 4 or Morale 4 and inlaid with Molten Colossus card or Poitada Star card. For garment, the universal choice for physical skill damage dealers is Brave Warrior's Pauldron with 12% skill damage as main equipment and White Duke's Manteau as phantom equipment. Your garment should be enchanted with high PDI and inlaid with any of the following cards depending on the stat you're lacking. For footgear, the options for main equipment are Boost of Balance for boosting physical attack, magic attack, and physical damage, Dragon Slayer War Boots for boosting physical attack and physical pen, or Voyager War Boots for boosting ranged physical damage. While for phantom equipment, you can either use St. Mary's cloth shoes or Kitten's ankle bell. Your footgear should be enchanted with high PDI and inlaid with Swordsman Senya MVP card for increasing skill damage. For accessories, I recommend using any of the following combinations depending on the element you're using: Essence of Scorching Flame and Flame Feather if focusing on fire element, Fluorite Button and Brooch of Spring if focusing on water element, or Gold Encrusted Lyre and Dog Servant if using other elements. Your accessories should be enchanted with high PDI and inlaid with Devil Governor card and Alien Valkyrie Wrath Greasy card. For headwear, these are my top picks for each slot. Just choose depending on availability and the stat you're lacking. As for headwear enchantment, aim for Morale 4th enchant on your face and back items and Arch 4th enchant on your tail item. For headwear card, you may use any of the following for enhancing damage. Up next, here are the other upgrades that you can invest in to further boost your damage. For Acer Monument, activating all the nodes will grant the following stats. Notably, you'll get 10% physical pen, 10% ignore physical def, 11% physical damage, 11% physical attack, and 10% movement speed. For guild buffs, maxing out your blessings and prayers will grant additional physical attack, magic attack, ignore physical def, physical pen, and elemental damage. For Oracle Mirror Extract, the top options are Bulk Disarm for damage to MVP, Combustible Knife for physical pen, Chieftain's Axe for ignore physical def, Claw for physical attack, or Oath Book Page 2 for magic attack. For Ancient Relics, since Ellinia already has good survivability, just focus on increasing damage using Lord of Vane or Era Fire Seed. For Equipment Memory, here are the attributes that you should prioritize for improving damage. For multi-drop, you can unlock the following classes to get more dex and int. And for Adventure Handbook, just focus on collecting items and achievements that grant physical attack and magic attack when unlocked or deposited. Finally, let's take a look at some tips for using Ellinia in battle. First, place these skills in the manual and auto skill bars. I prefer placing Mercury Concerto and Element Roulette on auto. Once you're all set, use the following consumables which can help boost your damage. You won't need to use Precision Stone since Ellinia's signature weapon is considered as a staff which has no weapon size penalty. Before initiating combat, cast first Meow Possession to ride PP Dragon or a teammate, then buff yourself with Element Roulette to convert your attacks to the chosen element, and Rainbow Guard to get a damage absorbing shield that lasts for 10 seconds. After that, you can turn on auto to cast Mercury Concerto. This will make your PP Dragon automatically attack the nearest target using Go PP. If you or the possessed target received crowd control or abnormal status, just cast Shackle Breaking to remove the CC effect. So that's it from my Ellinia DPS build guide for PvE. Hopefully this video has given you valuable insight on how to improve your damage output and efficiency in boss hunting and clearing instances. Please feel free to leave a comment if you have any question or suggestion. Alright, that's it for this video guys. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed watching this guide. If you're new here, I would love you to consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button down below. I would love to have you back. Thank you for watching and see you in our next episode.